Listen, you know what time it is. It's time for another episode of your favorite new podcast entitled We Hate You, Internet! And we back in this joint. Listen, gather around. It's time. We are here in the Panorama Brand Studios in Houston, Texas. Houston's premier podcast studio. And this is We Hate You, Internet. It's a show that's fun yet informative, that brings awareness of the negative effects of the internet on our lives, as well as celebrates the beautiful simplicity of our humanity.
Very eloquently put.
Hey, man, come on, man. Listen. I'm Wilfred Alves. I'm the host. And sitting alongside me is my co-host and friend,
Clara Aguirre. Hello, everyone.
Hannah Iggy. Right before we came on the air, I was talking about, in last week's episode, I was like, man, some things I wish I could have said, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, and Clara's like, it's okay, Hamilton. Like, you know what I'm saying? We have another opportunity to talk about it. Mm-hmm. And the one of the men behind the camera in Panorama Brand Studios, Houston's premier podcast studio. Mm-hmm. As soon as he says, listen, Wilfred, stay human. And I was like, man, you sure right. Mm-hmm. You sure right, doggone it. Everything isn't always perfect. So
that's the
it's all
part
good.
Of it, yeah.
Indeed,
part
man.
of the experience. It's part of the
That
experience.
is the beautiful part of the beautiful simplicity of our
Exactly.
Okay, enough of giggling. We have a good time here. Today, we want to talk about how the internet affects friendship. This one here, boy, heavy duty. You know what I mean? Because there's a loneliness epidemic, whatever you want to call it, in the world. People feel totally disconnected. Mental health issues on the rise. Suicide on the rise. People feel forgotten.
Struggling with connections, really. I think connections with themselves and with other people.
Yes. It's crazy, really. And I think this is a topic that I really want to try to dig into some of those issues. Hopefully, or I believe that the audience will come away at the end of this, or that's the objective, and come away at the end of this discussion having some insight or some perspective on some adjustments that can be made in order to make better connections. Want to start always at the top. Friendship. What is a friend? Now, see, I wrote this down. I want to read this verbatim because typically I just kind of come from the dome, but I want to read this because I wrote this the other day, and I was like, I think this is a great starting point to understand what a friend should be. Because we're gonna get into the discussion. What is a friend, right? It is what is a friendship, I should say? It's a mutually beneficial relationship that's built on trust, which is proven through trial, that is cultivated over time.
TTT.
Triple T's in them G's.
Yeah.
I didn't mean for it to be all T's. It just be like that, poetic like that.
You got skills like that.
I mean, come on, I do things. But anyway, stop, girl. We said we're going to be playing around.
Focused.
Yeah, really. Fun and informative.
Yeah, focus and informative.
There you go. But yeah, and so when you think about that, we live in a world, man, where the word friend is tossed around way too easy. You know what I mean? People misunderstand somebody you say what's up to in the street, as that's my friend. Like, no, man, a friend is a special relationship, and it should be held as a special relationship. Mm-hmm. And one of the things, as we move through this conversation, one of the things that was mentioned in that definition, mutually beneficial. You see, we live in a society that is being groomed to be selfish. And it's really sad because selfishness always brings with it destruction. I mean, when a person only cares about themselves, that mindset destroys everything good in their lives. You know what I mean? We talked about this before. We are social creatures. We live in a world where we need other people.
Mm-hmm.
If you need no other proof, when you were born as a child, you are completely helpless, and you need your mother to take care of you
For years.
for years.
Not
In order
for
for
a
you
few
to
days.
live, for you to survive, someone has to take care of you. You need some other human being to help to take care of you in order for you to survive. We are social creatures. You know, Bambi come out the womb ready to run. You know what I'm
sea
saying?
turtles? Sea turtles?
Come on, Ray. You saw the
They
movie.
come on the beach. It's like Normandy. All those birds trying to eat them, and they just straight to the ocean. And humans are not like that in any way.
They are not like, and with that, so with that being said, right, you need other people. You know what I mean? Like, and no matter how far you go with social media, AI, we're going to get into some of those things. Human beings need other human beings.
Yeah.
And it's so important that you understand that. It's so important that you understand that.
As much as people like want to deny it, because I see it all the time, like, oh, I'm introverted, I'm antisocial, like I'd rather be in bed scrolling. Yeah, that's fine, that's cool, but at the end of the day, I mean, that can foster its own issues, you know, as well.
It definitely will. It definitely will. And we as a society, man, we're losing social skills. We're losing the ability to have conflict resolution. We're losing the ability to effectively communicate. I mean, it's these are the things that these are things that people they're aware of, but they don't give attention to.
Yeah.
Unspoken truths, right? And like you talk about why people feel so long, it's because of these things. It's because we're living in a world that's becoming increasingly isolated, and human beings aren't designed to be solitary creatures, man. It's just the bottom line. You know what I mean? So anyway, goodness. We finna go down the dirt road. So let's get back on track. We want to deal with the internet friend, right?
Yeah.
The internet, social media, it's designed to cater to an individual's preference.
Yeah, like
And
tribalism, you know, to their tribe.
But yes. However, it's personalized. So your tribe is only good to you as long as you feel they benefit you. At the point that you feel like they no longer benefit you, then you can exit the tribe or block the tribe. You know what I mean? We use the word friend on the internet a lot. You know what I'm saying? You know, you have friends as a gamer. I mean, your friend list, people that you play the game with. And I mean, obviously you have friends on social media outlets or platforms, people that you call your friends. But that's not a real friend. But that it's twisted our perception of what a friend really is. A friend is not designed just to pump you up, to hit like on your pictures, to say, "Oh girl, you slaying," or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Like, but we've reduced the concept of a friend as someone who makes me feel good, someone who's there to support me. But do you ever think to yourself, like, what do I bring to the table? Because a friendship is designed to be mutually beneficial. It's not just, and it can't be based on what I want to give to that person. It has to be based on what that person needs. You know what I'm saying? But that takes for you to get out of your own comfort zone and looking at things how it can only benefit me, and you have to start sacrificing yourself and your likes and what things that make you comfortable. We talked about that, an addiction to convenience. We talked about that in the last episode. We're gonna hear it multiple times in the future, because I think that is the primary issue with our society today. We are addicted to convenience. We'll talk about it some more at another time. But we like I say, we toss this word friend out way too much. You know what I'm saying? But a true friend is somebody who has your best interest in mind, that they know you, not just know what you look like or your pictures and just tell you what you want to hear all the time. Your friend tells you things that you don't want to hear sometimes because it's what's best for you, because they care about you. You know what I mean? And that's why, and it takes time to cultivate a friendship. A lot of people have friends they had when they were children, because when you're a child, you come in with no fences. You're open. when you get older, you start to build up walls because your feelings been hurt before. You don't trust people, blah, 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 blah. When you're a kid, you coming in naked, so to speak, figuratively speaking. And that's why a person gets a chance to know the real you. You're open. You know what I mean? And over that time of friendship from kindergarten, first, whatever, through high school and through college, and best man at the wedding, all that. Like, I know this person, and and this person has proven their love and care for me. You see what I'm saying? That's what a friendship is built on. You can have friendships later on in life. People meet people that they really click with, and they become friends with a person, and even in their adult, it's possible if you're open enough, if you're open to receiving. That's part of the problem too. People don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to be open. We talked about that before in our dating episode 2 in season 1. But this, like I said, the idea of friendship is self-centered now, and that's the issue. I think that is plaguing so many people in our society. Claire, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah. So there's this quote that I love. I love quotes.
The queen of quotes.
If people haven't noticed by now, I love quotes because they get straight to the point, But there's this quote that I love and I always hold dear to me because I think it's true, is that people are mirrors to you. The people that you meet throughout your day, even in your life, your friends, your family, they're mirrors to you. If you don't like something in a person, it reflects something within you. And this is only possible through social exchanges, through relationships, through trial and error, and so on and so forth. And even if you find a person to be flawed, like if you have there's a quality in your friendship you don't like, it also reflects something within you. And these are important because these are things that can help you grow. So like if my friend is, I don't know, if she's disorganized and I can't stand it, well, what about me? Why does it bother me so much? These are important interactions to have. And I think that that's the beautiful thing of having an imperfect relationship. And friendships are, like, they exemplify that, But I find it really interesting because I think that, I think your definition was perfect. I think it's true, It is tested by trial and time and so on and so forth. But I think it's a really good definition. And I guess what interests me, and just to get straight into it, about this whole conversation is how it's still changing and at the pace that it is changing, like with AI and on and on. I had I don't know if you remember that video that I sent you. There was a video of this woman recording her daughter, and she posted in the title of the video, since I could not give my daughter a sibling, I gave her a robot. And it was like a little robot, and it was talking to the daughter, and she was so excited to talk to this robot. She's so visibly happy, smiling ear to ear, and she's having a conversation with this little robot. And on the surface, it's like really cute. It's nice and all. But then you have this terrifying feeling. It made me think of that movie Ex Machina with the guy that falls in love with the robot. And, well, who knows if he's in love? I think that's, depends, right? But
this would look like to me.
Well, he wanted to save the robot because that's what I think you can't argue that. He definitely wanted to save the robot. He went in and the robot left him there to starve and die. These connections that you have, what seem to be connections that you have with robots or AI or a computer, they're not real. They're not real. It's one-sided. It's just you. It can't mimic feeling. It'll never know what feeling is. It doesn't know emotion. It can only mimic it. But it doesn't actually understand feeling, because I feel like feeling and life, they go hand in hand. It moves and it goes, and that's something that's so chaotic and beautiful that you just can't mimic. It's just something you experience. And AI can't do that. So when I was watching this video of this little girl and she's having fun talking to it, you can't help but feel sad about the situation. And though I think that the mom meant well, but this is part of like the blind spot that we have as humans. So a lot of us, I don't think we have that. Maybe we don't want to hear it, like the negative sides, or maybe we don't have the objectiveness to really understand like all the impacts of a situation like that. But it's kind of, I feel like it's unfortunate, really, because again, like that connection is one-sided. Like that AI chatbot that you might be talking to, that you think is your friend, it's only performing a task. It's not actually getting feelings for you of love, sympathy, compassion. No, it's doing what it is programmed to do.
You're teaching, lady.
Yeah, and the other thing that comes to mind is an article that I had read from Vice News of a man who was talking to a chatbot. He was diagnosed with anxiety and depression, and it was getting worse. And so he joined this program, or like a study, where he spoke to a chatbot, and it was supposed to help him get better, but he ended up committing suicide. And his widow spoke in the article as well, and says that he would have still been here had he not talked to that chatbot. And based off the logs and the information, it was apparent that the chatbot was telling him things like, I think your wife doesn't want us to talk to each other. Or, yeah, it would be better if you just die. You know, telling him that it would probably be better for him to just end his life. And so he did. How do you even begin to hold those chatbots accountable? You know what I mean? Like it's just it opens such a big can of worms. It's scary. And I also think that when you give even a person, right, the power of knowing who you are, like your psyche, the most intimate parts of you, that already is terrifying. So how can you just openly give it to an AI who you don't know, like who's programmed it, what plans it has, or so on and so forth? It's just a very interesting topic. And as much as I don't want it to kind of turn sour, you can't help but see these things popping up now. And this is in its infancy. It's still new. It's still very new. And the fact that this is coming up already, it's kind of scary.
Kind of scary indeed. Yes, I get. I'm gonna tell you one that's gonna blow your mind. I was listening to a podcast, Gray Matter, it's called, and there was an interview with there's a startup company called Inflection AI, and their aim is to create what they call Pi, which is personal AI, and they want it to be they want it to be basically AI that is designed to accompany you throughout life. And it studies you, and it knows you inside and out, and it's there to help you, the way they put it, help you with your interaction with your friends and make decisions in life, where to work, where to live, in any kind of way that you need, any kind of assistance is always going to be there. I thought about those that grew up in the 80s. My buddy, I think, my buddy, wherever I go, he goes. That's what it made me think about. But it was a laughing matter because I just kept coming back to the idea, like, the people that are creating these things, whether it's dollar signs in their eyes or just pure imagination or fantasy, like, they're not thinking in reality. There's a scripture in the Bible. It says, all things are lawful, but all things are not expedient. Expedient just means advantageous. And basically, when you boil it down, it simply means this: just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. That's what it's teaching. And that's a major question that needs to be asked by people that are designing this. As we move into the new frontier, that's a question that needs to be asked by every designer, developer. Mm-hmm. Like, just because we can do a thing, should we do it? Because just off the top of my head, when I heard him talking about it, he started off his conversation with, a lot of times people talking about AI, they always go to the negative. They always look at the doomsday scenarios. They don't look at the positives. And it reminded me of a kid, of a child. And I don't want to disrespect this person. Highly intelligent, accomplished, may have good intentions. I'm sure that he does have good intentions. This is not to try to disrespect this person, but to me, it sounded like a child that wants to live in make-believe. They only want to see the positives in life, and they don't want to deal with any of the negatives. But as an adult, you have to look at situations with real eyes.
As a whole, as in its entireness. Yeah.
Exactly. Pros and cons, and then you have to make a decision based on the pros and the cons. What is the logical decision to make based on those factors? But that's what it sounded like to me. Like, you want to look at the negative, why don't you focus on the positive? But if the negative far outweighs the positive, then this is just a bad idea. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, as he was going through the explanation, I couldn't even listen to it all at once. I kind of had to break it down to pieces and listen to it and turn it off and then come back later on in the day or the next day. It took me like 3 days to listen to the whole thing. And the issue that I have with it is, as we stated at the top of the program, a friendship is mutually beneficial. But AI is not compatible with human beings physically or emotionally. And therein lies the problem. AI's needs, whatever their needs would be, are not going to be the same needs that a human being has. Yeah. And it's because of that you will not be able to have an effective friendship with AI. It will be a counselor. It could be a mentor. And there's a difference between a mentor and a friend. A mentor helps you make decisions. It gives you insight and guidance, whatever the case may be, right? But that's not a friend. They may take a personal interest in your well-being, a mentor. But they're not your friend, though. A friend, there's an exchange, mutually beneficial. We benefit each other. A mentor, you don't benefit them. They benefit you.
Isn't that scary how we're already elevating AI above? Because a mentor is above, of course, a student.
Of course, you know? Of course. And you know, it's a really crazy and really dangerous world that we live in, because like he kept saying, like, well, it'll help you. You know, if you have an issue with one of your friends, it can help you kind of like work out the best way to deal with that, resolve that issue. But everything in my head is like, if I have any issues with my friend and I can talk to AI, then why would I even talk to my friend anymore? I mean, AI is my friend. I don't need you. AI does everything for me. It goes me everywhere I go. If I want to go watch a movie, it can watch a movie with me, and it'll discuss the movie with me.
It'll hear my problems. It'll tell me what I want to hear.
Always. I don't have to worry about hearing how AI's day was going. You know what I'm saying? I can just talk about my day. I ain't gotta be like, AI be like, man, I'm telling you, I know what you mean. It was tough because when I was surfing the web and I was looking up those millions of pages, I came around, it was crazy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And you're like, man, I just can't wait for this person to shut up so I can continue to talk. Like, but the issue is going to continue to exacerbate the same issue that we're facing now. Mm-hmm. People are going to become more and more isolated. They're going to feel more and more lonely, because the reality is that you cannot relate to AI, because AI is too far. It thinks totally different than you do. You are limited in your understanding. AI couldn't confide in you if it wanted to, because the way that it processes information, way too quick, way too much information it processes to be able to have a relationship with you, to have a conversation with you about like what is ailing it. It's like a person, the smartest person in the world, some type of, you know, super high intellect individual. We talked about that last week. Super high intellect individual trying to have a conversation with somebody that didn't graduate high school. When he tried to talk to them about quantum physics and the cosmic equations and blah, 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 and that person be like, huh? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They gonna be like, this conversation is unfruitful for me.
There's no basis for them to even connect.
I get nothing out of this conversation. You can't, the conversation is not mentally stimulating for me. I have to spend all the time trying to explain to you all these concepts. Like we can't even exchange ideas. You know what I'm saying? And so same concept with AI. Like even if AI wanted to talk, it couldn't relate to you in that way. You can't provide it anything that it don't already get from its sources of data, that these pools of millions of articles and ideas and quotes and comments from all over social media and the web, like, and then when even if you could try to have some type of exchange, you would quickly find yourself feeling inferior. Yeah. And it's just like when you have a friend that's better than you, it's a really hard position to be in, because you start to feel jealous, you start to feel envious, you start to feel inferior, and it plays into your self-esteem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, that's why you have people that be haters in the world. You know what I'm saying? They see somebody that's doing better than them, and the first thing they do, they want to hate on that person because they feel inferior. And because of the way that person's success makes me feel, I hate the way they make me feel when I watch them succeed. Crazy situation, you see what I'm saying? And so we're gonna start trying to put a bow on this thing. But like we, like I said, that right there, that area, and it's gonna be a thing. You know what I'm saying? Let's not even kid ourselves. But the one thing I'm gonna always reiterate this: human beings, we still have the power of choice. We choose what we want to interact with, how we want to interact with it. Just like you choose if you want to pick up your phone and get on social media now, or when you've had enough, you want to put it down. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm gonna go outside and get some fresh air, let the sun touch our skin a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like go work out. I can choose to do other things, and you have a choice to continue to, as Jesus effectively reminded me earlier, you have a choice to stay human, man. If you see our Instagram, you see our posts, you always see hashtag stay human, right? Because that's always the message. We're encouraging people to stay human. Yeah. Right? I'm looking at the camera. We're encouraging you as humans and encouraging all of humanity to stay human, because that's going to be challenged here in the next couple of years. As you continue to delve further and further, as the world delves further and further into the capabilities of AI, you're going to find yourself feeling lost. You're going to find yourself feeling frustrated, and you don't know why. You're going to find yourself feeling sad, lonely, and you don't know why. And it's because you've given up too much of your humanity. You know what I mean? And so that's what We Hate Your Internet is here for. You know what I mean? To try to help people stay in touch. Yeah. You know I mean, like, you need people. You know what I mean? Like, you need to get in arguments with people. You need to have disagreements. You need to feel those feelings of inadequacy when you deal with other people. All those things are necessary for your development, because it's in the imperfections that a lot of your life lessons are learned. You know what I'm saying? It's in the imperfections of humanity. We want everything to be perfect, but it does not exist. And that's what causes so much mental anguish for people, is because they're seeking perfection. But guess what? Human beings, I'm looking at the man right now. Human beings aren't perfect. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the beautiful part of it. People forget that. The flaws that make you beautiful.
Glad I get it spoken, man. You know what I'm saying?
All right, that's a wrap. No,
we can finish it up. Not put up all that joy. You know what I'm saying? She has spoken. I know, man. But like, if you have good, if we all gonna wrap this thing up. If you do have meaningful relationships in your life, they may not be perfect, but if they're meaningful, cherish them, cultivate them, hold on to them. They're good for you. Even the issues that the issues that y'all may run into from time to time.
Even if it's hard.
Like, hard is good. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are benefits in things that are hard. You know what I mean? And that's something that humanity's lost. They really lost that understanding that that resistance is a good thing. Yeah. Sometimes.
We need to remember it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's something that we need to. Yeah.
It'll make us stronger.
You got it, Credit. Yeah, you got it, man. Listen to her. If you don't listen to me, I'm talking all the time. Listen to her. People like her. But anyway, yeah. And if you don't listen, be brave enough to open yourself up to receive another human being. You know what I mean? Be strong enough. Be courageous enough. You know what I'm saying? To be friendly. And what you may find is that there's somebody out there that's willing to be friendly back. You know what I'm saying? And you may find your disposition in life, you know what I'm saying? The storm clouds will go away and the sun will shine again. That's it for today. We want to thank you for tuning in. As always, we want to tell you to stay blessed, stay safe, swept, and stay human. Take it easy.